Okay, so another Friday and we're having another video. So in this video, we're actually going to be focusing on the icon of Urban Legends America, which is the Carousel of Legends. I have put this off for a very long time, mostly because carousels can be very, very detailed. And when it comes to architecture and stuff like this, it takes a lot of brain power for me, and so it takes me quite a bit of time to try to visualize and put together what I can see in my brain and put it on paper, which seems to be a little bit of a struggle. That being said, I have worked on it in the past when it comes to the clock app, but it's nothing that I have been actually proud of. We will go through them and I will use them definitely as references because there are pieces in it that I would still want to use and translate in this new piece. But overall, I just wanted to give it a do over as well as basically give you guys a little more of a rundown of the icon in itself and what it's actually going to represent in the park. Not only are we going to be doing that for this video, but I'm also just going to bring you along in my process, but also kind of show you a few references that I basically will reach for during this process. So whether that be pictures and books, and I'll just give you the plan and so on and so forth. So with that being said, let's get this party started. So I'm going to be using references like this from Pinterest. Most of it, yes, they're not all carousels, if any carousels, but it does show in terms of landscape and composition of where I would basically want things. Even like using something like a map of something else like this, it just gives me a better visual of what it would look like overall in the map. But we're going to be working on just a general concept piece. Also use these two pieces as a basically a starting point for structures because they actually do a good job of using pieces that I actually would consider like helpful structurally wise. So we have a concept work for Animal Kingdom that was actually supposed to be the early forms of the icon for the park until it was changed to the Tree of Life. And then you also have House on the Rock, which is like an indoor carousel, which I think will also work because my plan is actually to have two levels being basically visible to the public in terms of the icon, and then there's also a below level that would also be accessible, but I'm still throwing around ideas. Would it be still would it be rideable? Because the other two I'm not planning on. It's still the icon. I still want people to enjoy it, but I mean the House on the Rock is also something that is not you don't ride it, so I think that's more so what we're going to be going for. So with that, we'll get into some of my old concept pieces, and then we're going to do some thumbnails just to get a general look at structure and go through some references that can actually help us figure out, what makes, the icon stand out. So yeah. Okay, onward we go. In the elevation concept, this obviously is just more architectural and just shows the actual physical levels. And then we'll get into this one, which I just don't like it. There's no color. It's a lot of ink. It's starting to get messy. I just can't look at it anymore. Not to mention everything is basically changing structurally what's going to be around it. And again, I want to basically level up these concepts. And so instead of having the ghosts at the top, have them come out. But yeah, everything is basically going to change. And I'm using this concept as a stepping stone into the vibe of what I actually want. So I have the icon in the back, and it kind of just gives an idea of, again, the levels. So you have the smaller top part, and then you have the bottom piece, which is actually a lot bigger.
But again, this is just more of like the concept and what I'm thinking of in a stepping stone into, again, those pieces that I'm going to be doing.
Before we get any further into this video, I just want to take a moment to thank my folklore enthusiasts for today's video. For $5 a month, you can be part of the club while also getting your name in my videos, just like this. But you also get some more benefits like behind the scenes content, polling on future videos, as well as a postcard that's designed by me and sent to you. And it looks something like this. This was last month's postcard, and basically it just showcases a different cryptid or an urban legend from each state with a little blurb on the back, and I keep it blank so that you have the option to either send it out if you'd like, or you can just collect them. I like to collect them, but there is also a option to be a free member. I try to post pretty often for everybody because I just want to build up the community and have a conversation with all of you. So if you like what I'm doing and you would like to support me, please click the link to my Patreon in the description below. Okay, thank you once more to these wonderful people. Now let's get back into this video.
All right, so I'm just getting into the thumbnails here. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to share with you some of the resources that I use and just some of the writings and things that I have come across when it comes to an icon and what it means to do an icon, what is the most effective way to have an icon and why you need one. I'm going to actually start with one of my textbooks, and this one is Theme Park Design, and this is by David Younger. And basically when they're talking about icons, it's described as any large, visually interesting set piece with a land, often not traditional architecture, given the term because of its ability to represent the themed area it appears in. Alright, now that I kind of did my thumbnails and this is the structure that I want to go with, I'm going to get started and go in with the red pencil. And while I do that, I'm going to go through another one of my resources, which is a two-part series, I believe, that is the Imagineering Pyramid. This is the first one in the Imagineering Toolbox series by Louis J. Prosperi. Okay, and now I'm going to be using Chapter 10 called Weenies. Icons can be weenies, and weenie is a term coined by Walt Disney, and he says, a playful term for a visual element that could be used to draw people into and around a space. A weenie is big enough to be seen from a distance and interesting enough to make you want to take a closer look, like Cinderella's castle at the end of Main Street, USA, or the Astro Orbiter in Tomorrowland. John Hench notes, Imagineers have found that people respond to a weenie at the end of a corridor because it beckons them to continue further in their journey. The weenie promises that you will be rewarded for the time and effort it takes to walk down that corridor. Okay, now that we're getting some color in here, I'm going to start obviously with the sky and the trees. These like icons and weenies incorporate movement or kinetics, and this will also draw the attention of your guest and audience, and you want them to come closer. You want them to see this icon and be able to see this icon basically anywhere in the park, because this will also be used as the middle point and can help your guests navigate through the park. So I think with using both of these resources in these quotes, I think the carousel really does work well as this park's icon, because I was trying to find a way of incorporating something that could represent this in all these stories and everyone. And I really couldn't place anything until I had a little help and actually got the idea of the carousel, because this works so well as an icon if we can structurally get it to move, because you have lights, you have movement, you have sound, and you can have all these creatures, because that's what represents this park, the urban legends, the stories in these creatures that live on in like oral history and just regular history. It's just it encapsulates everything that works well with this park. And because it's a consistently moving in a circle, you get the angle everywhere. You don't have to worry about a back or a side, because again, it's always moving, always turning. It's circular. You're gonna be seeing exactly all of it anywhere in the park. We're finally getting into that pen, because woo, that was looking real rough. I mean, it's still looking rough, but give me a chance. Give me a chance. We have a good idea of, again, what a weenie is, or what this icon will be. Again, each part of the park is actually going to have its own weenie, so that you know that you're in that section of the park. But again, this is our icon. This is basically the weenie for the entire park. This is the representation of your park. This is what everybody can use as a navigation tool. I remember I got a comment about this on the Clock app before, that it was actually a possible visual interest to have every level be a representation of the type of cryptid or creature that this will be. In that case, like the first level would be any land cryptids, anything that runs or walks. Then you have the second layer that is aerial cryptids, and so anything that has wings or, you know, is always in flight. And I think that upper level that I wanted to be extended would be like spirits, like flying through the air in this space. But have there be a hidden level below that would actually be the aquatic cryptids. So that's why I'm still having this idea of, do I only want that lower level to be rideable, or do I just want it all to be visual and just let people enjoy it? Because I still think that it doesn't take away anything from this carousel if people can't ride it. I think it needs to be a visual interest, especially if it is the icon. It's not supposed to be any type of ride, it's supposed to be the icon. Okay, I think I rambled on enough, so I will let you guys enjoy, and then we'll get into the final shots and my final thoughts. So, all right, here we go.
This definitely was a trust the process kind of situation.
This was probably the first time that I just kind of went in with going watercolor straight from the red sketch and then going in with the ink later, which proved to be like a good thing and a bad thing. I think the ink really does help me figure out where I really do want things. Is it something that I'm proud of compared to what I had before? Yes, 100%. I think this really does show you what I'm thinking in terms of like the scale and where I want it. Will I be doing it again? Probably not for a while, but I think there's definitely things to improve on in what I would want to visualize in this surrounding area. But this was definitely something where I wanted the icon to be the center of it, and I really enjoyed like the little touches of like adding the lights and stuff like that. Always brings it like all together and just makes it. It's always the finishing touch. You know what I mean? So I love the fireworks. I love the lights. I think it does exactly what it like needs to do. But probably down the line when I have a better visualization of the surrounding area, I think then this would be like a take two. I think that this is another concept piece to add to the books. And per usual, I'll have stills on my Instagram and actually my Pinterest. So basically everything will be in the link in my description. So I just go through everything through Linktree. So you can basically have everything from there. So if you want some better looks, then you can check out the stills from there. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. I'll see you later. Bye.
I just want to. Okay. Okay. This hair is atrocious. No, I would never do that. Envelope over there, regular postcard right here, baby. Okay. Ooh. Okay. All right. Hopefully you can't hear the train. This is. Ooh. Moment to thank my. And that's the train. Is it shaking? We moved from the desk to the couch and standing because the squeaky chair has been squeaking. A little too squeakers. So you have to get used to this. So. Again! I'm just gonna keep playing with it until the dawn of time.